All right, here we are. We just saw Dawn of the Dead, 1978.
The real Dawn of the Dead.
The real Dawn of the Dead. Now we're going to talk about it. So I guess the first things we do is we usually just go really quick about the plot.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's typical Romero. No explanation or backstory on why the epidemic is just happening. But basically, it kind of centers itself right off the bat on a military unit, I guess. Like a police force going into some kind of ghetto.
Yeah.
Where there's some kind of violent uprising going on. And they surround the building. And as they start entering and shooting down people, they start turning immediately.
Well, right in the first scene actually is the news station, remember?
Oh yeah, well,
yeah, the news station, but that just sets up the whole epidemic. There's something going on.
They do the movie starts in a news studio with all this chaos and commotion going on, and all the stuff that's going on the zombie uprising, which literally lasts 5 minutes. It's just to let you know right off the bat that there is an epidemic and people know about it, and then they cut to what I was talking about.
Projects, yeah.
Yeah, just the projects and some kind of gang uprising in a building that has nothing to do with zombies. And it's sort of like a SWAT team shows up to take care of business. And then as they start moving through the building and taking down people, little by little, some of those bodies start coming back. And bam, we're in the middle of a zombie movie. It starts off as a gangster, street war, cops versus a hoodlum movie, and all of a sudden it's zombies. Yeah,
it's chaos. You got like racist fucking SWAT team guys, called Puerto Ricans and blacks, and then you meet.
This movie is straight up 70s racist.
Yeah, they don't care.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we met two other main characters in the previous scene: the woman. And her boyfriend, who's the helicopter pilot for the news station.
Right, so you have the reporter and the pilot. Right.
Okay. And then it cuts to like the goods, where you meet the SWAT team, and two of them is the short white SWAT team guy, and then the cool black SWAT team guy.
Who's the main guy of the movie? Who's
practically the main character?
Oh, he is the main guy.
He's the reason. He's the one he's the smartest one. He's cool.
Yeah, of course. And we're talking about what's his face? What's his name?
The actor?
Ken
Foree.
Ken Foree, yeah. Foree, right?
Yeah,
Foree?
I'm saying it like he's kind of like the Sam Jackson of that movie.
Oh, he's badass, man. He's
Denzel Washington and Sam Jackson.
Not only is he cool, but he's the leader of the group. He's the one that, he leads everybody to survival throughout this whole thing. So.
And he kind of, like in the beginning, he has a really good scene in the beginning, but he kind of just comes to the front. In the beginning, he's kind of just listening to them, because he's hitching a ride on their helicopter. And he kind of takes over. But we're jumping already. All right, we meet the short guy and we meet Ken Foree. He's the only one we know.
Well, we have the two
SWAT
guys who are actually the trained professional militant guys. And then through unfortunate circumstance, they get teamed up with a news reporter and the helicopter pilot.
The city's gone to shit. And in that first scene, when they're in the projects, he has the ideas that, we just get the hell out of here. Exactly. I know a guy that has a helicopter, which is the characters in the beginning. Right. We can get out of here. And he comes along, and they meet up with the woman and the helicopter pilot. Yes. And they escape the city. And basically. They just go for it.
And they go for it, and they go to the sticks.
They cross the sticks.
That means they find the mall in the middle of a huge lot. And they figure, that's a good place to park the chopper on the roof, and there's plenty of stuff in there that we could probably use. And that's where the movie takes a life of its own, because the whole story now revolves pretty much inside this mall. So the chopper lands, and they set up shop. There's zombies inside, yes. So they kind of have to hide out for a first part of the movie. They're kind of hiding out and finding their groove, and they find these back rooms where they kind of make it their little headquarters and stuff. And then they just start eliminating all the zombies inside the mall and sealing the mall at the same time. So basically, they have the mall to themselves eventually. And then the movie kind of changes. Yeah. You forget about zombies, because after they kill the zombies in the mall, you never leave the mall to go outside. You don't know what's going on outside. So it's just them living out their days inside a mall.
Or they're watching stuff through the TV. That's the only thing.
Yeah, day after day after day in a mall. What do you do? you go crazy. So after a while, it's boring. They build their own little area up, kind of like houses, because people are creatures of habit. So when you are stuck in a situation like that, you're going to try to go to your comfort level and do things that make you feel normal, which is they actually go shopping in the mall.
Yeah, the whole mall sequence is just like...
They take money literally from the register and go shopping.
There's that montage like in the middle of the movie or like right before the third act where it's just them living like normal. At this point, they already... they quarantine the mall.
Yes.
They devise a plan to get trucks, big semi-trucks, to block the entrances.
Exactly.
And then, like you said, they go around, they eventually kill all the zombies in the mall, drag them into a freezer.
Before we jump too far ahead, they devise a plan to take all these 18-wheelers that are parked outside in the loading docks and block off every main entrance and glass door of the mall. Great idea. But what happens is the SWAT guy, the white SWAT guy gets bit because he's getting a little too carried away. He's kind of like the cowboy. Yeah, and there's a lot of zombies outside.
Yeah, he gets bitten twice.
Yeah, they seal off the building and all that, but now one of their main guys is infected. So they know, and he knows that eventually he's fucked. So he kind of just lives out his days.
They're trying to nurse him. They have him in a room with morphine, but it's getting bad.
It's getting bad, and it's also getting mundane. You could tell that the two...
they're fighting over the TV. Even though there's nothing on.
It's snow. It's just snow on the TV. Yeah. She walks up to the TV, turns it off, sits back down on the dinner table. He looks at her like, what the fuck are you doing? He stands back up and turns the snow back on. It's like, yeah, they're totally burnt out.
Flyboy who looks like Steve Carell / Hugh Laurie.
Yeah. It's very interesting how they pull these scenes off and they try to tie in humanity, which is something Romero is really good at. It's a zombie flick, but
it's really only speaking about its times.
It's really a reflection on humanity at the time and how we are as people. And it's like I said, we are in any fucked up situation, whether it be Mad Max or whatever, people will always try to do. He starts turning. Eventually, they have to put him down before he turns.
Yeah, he eventually dies. A good scene when he comes back to life.
Yeah, that's like one of the best.
That was one of the covers. The original cover was the one with the head.
Yeah.
But the first cover I saw in Blockbuster was that. The movie kind of goes downhill.
It starts going to shit because now it's only them three, and it shows a little bit longer them three by themselves.
But it's kind of somber though.
It's very somber, and it's very.
There's a helicopter there.
Yeah, because they see the chopper flying. Yeah. That's when they're training her how to fly the chopper.
Yeah. So eventually, I mean, I'm glad that happened because at that point, it's like, what else could have happened in the movie? It's kind of like, okay, what next?
It needs something exciting to happen, and it's, you get tired of the same three people already. Even they're tired of themselves. Yeah. Boom, there's a biker gang. They start radioing whoever's in the mall to let them in, and they get tired of sending radio waves, and they're like, fuck it, you guys are fucked. We're going in.
And then it's like a Mad Max type army.
All of a sudden, it's like Sons of Anarchy versus zombies.
That is huge army of bikers come in, who are real bikers, most of them apparently when they filmed it.
Yeah.
And they just basically, with grenades, blow into the mall.
Yeah.
To raid the mall.
Very 70s. Everybody has fucking
And then, of course, the zombies all come pouring in.
Yeah.
So it's the heroes versus the bikers versus the zombies.
Yeah, and it's only two heroes left, really.
Yeah,
she's hiding the whole time,
hiding behind,
and these two guys have like sniper rifles, and they're just hiding out. So eventually, it's kind of like, okay, these guys are taking over the mall. They're killing all the zombies.
Just chaos.
The zombies
are killing them. Of shit, pie throwing.
We need to get the fuck out of here. We need to get to the chopper. So they start shooting random bikers.
No, but the fucking guy, the flyboy,
he's the one who fucks it up. Yeah,
he fucks it up, and they do that dub over. I think it was a dub to give you a reason. Like, why is he shooting? Yeah. I guess he's jealous that they're there.
Yeah, because they pretty much fuck over their
But if
housing.
he didn't shoot them, they would never have. They would have left. The zombies would have been in there, but they could have gone up there.
Yeah, you know what, David? They would have left, but after what? They pillaged and took
but it would have been like how when they started.
But what's the point of even staying in the mall then? If everything's gonna be destroyed and
well, they could have chose to leave.
Hey, but the building is compromised.
Yeah, but it was in the beginning. They were able to figure it out.
Not to that extent. Now there's only 2 guys.
Nah, that's true.
They're way outnumbered.
They could have taken shit, but they couldn't have taken everything from the mall. They're on bikes. They could have still stayed behind.
I just think they blew open almost every opening in the mall to get in with motorcycles. You need to get out.
Well, did they break? They broke glass, right?
They broke every glass.
Okay.
They were just pouring in through every angle, and
they insinuated there's a grenade, so I'm assuming they broke glass, even though they don't show the doors broken.
And it's only, like I said, 2 guys left. They're not going to be able to repair a whole mall. Okay, like I said, it's pillaged, it's trashed. There's more zombies in there now than there were when they first got. What's the point? You need to get out. You have a helicopter on the roof.
I would assume also maybe enough time has passed that even more zombies have been outside. So there's even more in there now.
Not only that, eventually, if you would have just been hiding like a coward,
they would have probably left already because they weren't happy. They probably wouldn't have done it again.
Would have gone through every nook. They would have found that chopper. You never know.
They would have stolen the chopper eventually.
They would have stolen that chopper.
They
or crash landed it trying to.
Okay.
You had to get your shit and go. You had to get your shit.
Well, I'm glad they started shooting
because it's more exciting.
That's the whole part of the movie.
Of course. And
so the Vikers start fighting back. Mm-hmm. And now we got the zombies in there, and then the men that were shot by Flyboys are getting eaten.
Right.
So now they're fighting, and then they start chasing Ken Forey, the black guy.
Yes.
Tom Savini, who does like all the stunts, starts chasing him, and they have a little standoff.
They have a little
shot, and he falls off the thing.
Right. And Flyboy is just trying to make his way to the elevator to get back to her,
and he gets shot by some of the bikers. Yeah.
He gets shot. So then, by the time the elevator gets to its location, he does the quickest zombie transformation. And he has the best makeup of the whole movie.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
He does the best zombie.
Supposed to be time has passed. It's supposed to be time has passed because he's waiting. But it was pretty quick.
It was pretty quick.
Because he looked blue.
Not only was
and the other guy didn't look blue.
Shriveled up. His whole face was shriveled up. Anyways, Flyboy turns. So now there's only 2 left. And they just have to run for the hills.
Flyboy Zombie still remembers where they go.
Yeah, Flyboy Zombie remembers he needs to get back to their hidden hideout. And he still remembers there's a fake painted wall, and he's got like a mob of zombies behind him. So he gets to that wall, and he bashes it in, and they all help him, and they just pour into the hideout. So now Ken Forey and the girl have to go they know it. They have the face of, okay, they're breaking in. We have to go. But Ken Forey waits, and he actually shoots Flyboy and takes him out. Mm-hmm. He waits for his boy, and he kills him. They go to the roof, and they take the chopper. And that's pretty much how it ends. They just kind of just escape in the helicopter. But this movie is just like the first one. In terms of zombie films and this type of genre, it was revolutionary because at the time, Romero just kept taking it up a notch and up a notch, and nobody else was touching this shit. And I know he did a drastic jump in budget, and he went from black and white to color. And I feel like one day me and Dave might do a little project where we're going to do the trilogy in black and white to see how it all meshes together. Because I feel like, especially this one, the one in the middle, the makeup is pretty bad. It's very gray, and you can see smudge paint on their face. Yeah. There's a lot of fuck-ups here and there. If you made it black and white, I think it would bring that much more...
You can see the corners are black and white there. It looks cool.
Yeah. I think it would bring much more grittier realism to it. But that's a future project. But I mean, in just the sheer fact of scale and just the fear of uncertainty and just the amount that's coming in, even though they're silly, they don't really fear. You're not fearful of them because they are so slow and they kind of just they run through them. But man, towards the end, they're just like hundreds of them showing up. That's when you start getting serious.
Yeah, there's so many shots in this movie. That's what makes it good. Like
the parking lot shots.
Yeah, like even in the mall. Like in the beginning, you're like, okay, they look kind of,
Yeah, it looks like there's 30 of them in a freaking
especially now,
lot.
compared to the makeup and the zombies now, they don't seem as scary, but there's so many of them. And there's so many shots. It gives like an epic feel.
Right.
It almost feels And like the first one, was in the '60s, and it was supposedly, from what I understand, was like
it was more of a racial
statement on like the civil rights movement.
Yes, it was a racial
and communism
barrier.
and all that kind of era. Yeah. Yes. So in the 70s, it was all about like consumerism. He says about the mall, consumerism and all that stuff, and it's very 70s and fashion and all that stuff. And then the 80s one is super dark and very like the Reagan era. Like all those 80s movies were very like the military were always in charge. Yes. You know what I mean? Like the military would always do whatever it takes for the greater good. And in the third one, the military was like taking over.
Part 1, Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. They all have their time periods written all over the style,
the way it looks,
and feel of it.
And yeah,
absolutely. You can watch one and say, yeah, 50s. Oh, this one's 60s. 60s, 70s, 80s. And the politics of the time are written all over every script. That's why they all feel so different, even though they're a trilogy, essentially. That's why I feel like it'll be an interesting project to make them all black and white and tie them together, edit them together.
Yeah,
as a trilogy, and see how they mesh.
And almost all of the George Romero ones, even Land of the Dead, we'll talk about that soon because it's good.
Yeah, it was different.
Good. It's good,
especially for us because we're Miami guys.
Miami. You know what I mean? The fact, you know, it definitely had a big budget. It was cool to see him have a big budget, but
yeah,
in all three of the original ones, the humans are the ones that fuck each other up. If you think about it, in Night of the Living Dead, they don't agree and they all end up fucking each other up.
Absolutely.
Even in the end, when they shoot the last guy. They shoot the guy. Even
if it isn't racism doing them in, it's sexism. It's greed.
Yeah. The second one, they kind of started getting along, but they couldn't get the bikers come in. They just won it.
Right.
The third one, the scientists were always fighting with the crazy army guys.
And because it was the militant mind versus the scientific mind, and
the third one's definitely the first one's pretty dark, but the third one's really fucking somber. Like there's no real funny moments in the third one.
Oh, not at all.
I mean, you can laugh at some of the acting scenes. And,
the acting is terrible, but
like overblown. Yeah,
and it's the goriest one for sure. The makeup is the best.
And then Land, and it's true, even though some of the aspects of Land were supposedly from Day, you can tell though it was very, very post 9/11ish. Where disaster happened.
Oh yeah.
And this is how we're gonna deal with it.
It's
by fencing it in.
It's so over policed.
Yeah. And it was kind of like Homeland Security.
And not only is it over policed, but the wealthy want to pretend like life is just peachy. Even though you look outside the window and the world looks like World War III, while we're inside our quarantine zone, we're gonna go and wear fur coats and shopping, and we want the best liquors and cigars and pretend like everything is good because, like I said, in all his themes it's the human element. What makes us feel human is to do whatever makes us feel comfortable, you know? So even if it's the most mundane act, I'm going to do it because it's what's going to keep me sane. And that's one of the only themes that is in every one of them. That is one theme that is the most important in the Romero movies. So
yeah. Because I loved how in Land of the Dead, even though the rich people are in that skyscraper thing, outside is still the slums. And they have like the whorehouses, and they have like the casinos.
Yeah, they got the ghettos where
they're paying for zombies,
debauchery,
and they're like doing like gladiator shows where the zombies are attacking humans.
Right.
And they have that part was great. And how they at night secretly the government, Dennis Hopper was sending people out to get alcohol,
food and supplies, and
and John Leguizamo was one of his stooges
who has a dream of moving up, but he's never gonna because he's always looked down.
Yeah, he never gets shit. Yeah. I love how he becomes like the bad guy. It's funny. He's so odd in that movie.
Yeah, he is. That's another episode though.
Yeah, it has its moments and it has its things I didn't like,
but like this movie right here, I remember I saw it for the first time when I was like in middle school. A buddy of mine who lived like 4 houses down, he always talked about it, and one day he's like, "Hey bro, I have it here on tape. If you want to come over, just watch it." And it was probably like around 11 o'clock at night, so I walked over, watched this shit, scared the hell out of me. Had to come home, and I might as well have walked through the foggy, cold cemetery on the way home. I was scared shitless. It was cold and it was dark, and I could swear to you that I ran home half the time. I was hauling ass.
Was this your first Romero movie you ever saw, you think?
No. I had seen Night of the Living Dead.
I mean, I knew about Night.
I have seen Night before.
The original Night, the black and white Night?
Yeah, the black and white Night. I think I saw it on like maybe a Channel 33 when I was younger. But I had never seen Dawn. I definitely never seen Day. So my buddy Mario, he introduced me to this and scared the shit out of me. And it stayed with me for days, man. I would think about this shit like, man, how fucked up would it be if like the dead will start rising, man? I mean... I don't know if it was because it was color and it made it more real, but it really fucked with my imagination.
No, I think because it was epic. I mean, when you're younger, we didn't really think that much about the makeup and stuff. But it's just like it impacts you. Like, the first Romero movie I saw, I think, was this one. Even before Night of the Living Dead. I knew about Night of the Living Dead.
So you saw them all out of whack.
Yeah, I knew about Night of the Living Dead because it's famous. You know, you see clips and you know about it. But I don't think I actually saw the movie. I saw the remake first. You remember Tom Savini in 1990?
Yes,
which is underrated. 1990, Tom Savini remade Night of the Living Dead.
It's very gory.
That's the one with the girl with the red hair, the short red hair. That's the first Night of the Living Dead I saw. That one on HBO one night, and I was like, I was confused. I
wonder if he called Romero and asked him permission.
No, yeah, he produced it. Romero's his buddy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was produced by Romero. Like he got the okay. He remade it. That movie's good. Remember?
Yes, I know.
That's the first one I saw on HBO. I remember I was
confused.
It had
like a hillbilly fat zombie.
Yeah.
With that. I think he got pitchforked or something.
And it had the guy in the basement was that asshole.
Yes.
Tom Tolles. That was in.
Yes.
He was whatever. And it had a Candyman was the black guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the first one I saw. I remember being confused because I knew it was black and white. So I was like, why is this Night of the Living Dead? Like I realized, oh, this must be like a remake of it. Because I remember I had the TV Guide back in the day. I remember looking at it. And it was like, okay, and I watched it and it scared the shit out of me. And that's when I started getting into zombie movies and I looked it up. I had like all those like movie guides and stuff. And then I realized, I realized that it was Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. And I remember reading the synopsis. And I remember I must have read it wrong, or either it was written wrong or I thought of it wrong. But I remember thinking it was a supermarket.
Okay.
I remember thinking, a supermarket? I gotta see this movie. It's gotta be weird. And I remember renting it. And this was unrated. And my mom had me on that Blockbuster, I couldn't rent R-rated movies thing.
Oh, yeah.
There was a list that your parents... Yeah. I was on it. But back then, Blockbuster was rookie shit. All you had to do was switch the movies. They didn't check them back then.
Oh, the cases?
Yes. Because you know the cases? And then if a movie was unrated, it had that logo. Remember? Nobody under 17?
Yes.
It had the NC-17 thing. I took Dawn of the Dead and I switched it with another movie.
My God, that sounds like so archaic.
Movie, and I turned it in and they didn't check it. Later on, they started checking it.
Wow.
Back then, they didn't check it and I rented it. And I watched it in my room. I was in middle school. Oh my God. I was so into it. I was so scared.
Oh, yeah.
And I even filmed the zombie movie with my sisters because I was so obsessed with this movie.
Yeah.
And the apartment we lived at was actually near an army base. It was not that far from an army base. It was in Miami.
Palaca Airport.
No, not.
Amelia Earhart.
No. This is when I was living in Miami Lakes. It's on 57th Avenue. There's an army base there, near Crown. There's an army base toward going north.
Okay.
Before the big dumps, there's an army. There's like a little army reserve there.
Okay.
Our apartments were right near it, and remember one Sunday morning the alarms went off.
Potty testing. And I
remember getting so scared because I thought it was like. It was probably the day after I saw this movie, but it was like I thought it was like a zombie thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember being so scared, but like you did, you know.
Yeah.
And then I knew about Day, and when I saw Day, I think like you, the first time I saw Day, I was kind of disappointed. Initial reaction was, oh, it's different. It's weird. It's weird.
It was very different feeling than the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talking, but once you listen to it, it's good.
Actually, Day is almost as if Tarantino would have done a zombie
it's a lot
movie.
of talking. It's about fighting. They're all fighting.
Yeah, because they're stuck in a silo, pretty much.
The beginning has that cool scene in supposed to be like Miami Beach or something, when the zombies are in the beach.
Yeah. And they show the alligators. Actually, if you pay attention, the alligators have tape around their mouth.
Yeah. And then there's not really a lot of zombie stuff till the end, but when it goes to shit, and they all get killed in certain ways. So what do you think about the remake of Dawn?
The remake of Dawn actually was not a bad movie.
It was a good remake.
It was a good remake. I think that they added a few good ideas, but I think they oversaturated it with too many characters you don't care about. Once they get stuck in the mall, I feel like it was way too many people. The stupid security guards replacing the SWAT team guys essentially didn't work out because they're assholes from the get-go, and so you hate them. So as soon as you die, you wanted them killed off already. They're not the heroes.
There was the main guy and then the other two kids.
Yeah, and then you have the pregnant lady and the husband angle, and you don't give a shit about that. And then they actually go through the whole pregnancy thing, and then she has a zombie baby, and it's so stupid and convoluted. Too much story, too much character plot going on, and it takes away from the main plot, which is, hey, it's a zombie movie. I don't give a shit about you're so fucked up that you actually want your zombie baby, and it gets into a twisted, like, Norman Bates type of thing going. Pointless. It's taking too much time away. Now, the neighbor that they communicate with, the sniper.
Yeah, Andy, the gun shop owner.
Awesome idea. I think an Andy idea in the original would have taken this up a notch. It would have been fucking epic. That was a great idea. I loved Ving Rhames in it. I thought he was an essential strong character who led them out of it.
He was like the only real, quote unquote, real actor in it that we can be like, oh, okay, I relate to.
What do you think of how the original one ended?
This one?
No, I'm sorry, the remake with the boat and the pier.
I didn't think it was better than this. You're talking about the first one. What I liked about the remake, it was a good remake. It could have been a lot worse. If you just saw that movie for the first time, not knowing anything about the original one, that's a good remake to watch. You know what I mean? And it was 2004. It had to be a little faster, a little scarier. The fact that they were faster zombies, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I prefer the slower ones. But the faster ones, I understand, because it was post 28 Days Later.
Well, yes.
And they were fast, but they were not super fast. You know, I liked how this one kind of ignored Night of the Living Dead, where it's the first time, because it actually starts with it happening. Remember the opening scene was in the hospital, and the woman went home, and the neighbor turns to a zombie. It kind of becomes like the beginning. That was okay. That was cool. That opening scene when it's attacking her town, they had that Grand Theft Auto car shot.
Right.
When he's driving.
Yes.
Did you notice the helicopter in that scene?
I don't think I did.
They have a CGI helicopter that flies in, and it's a cameo. It's the same helicopter from the original.
Oh, was it?
It's the WGON helicopter. And that's the part when that car flips, whatever.
Okay.
I didn't like the mall.
Me neither.
They got to the mall too fast. It was literally, they get to the mall from the opening, the scene after the opening credits.
Well, of course, because Zack Snyder probably realized that's the main thing from the original, so we have to immediately get to it.
The mall looked fake, and it was. You know, it just didn't look like, it didn't feel like a big mall. It felt kind of like a shopping center kind of thing.
Yeah.
And all the stores are fake. Okay, that's fine. I don't know. I liked it a lot. The remake was good, but I don't think it's necessarily better. Story-wise.
I honestly think that out of most of the dribble zombie shit that we've gotten in the past.
No, it's a good zombie movie.
It's probably the best of... Resident Evil movies are all garbage.
Yeah, even the first one.
It's the only I'm not a big fan of the 28 Days Later movies because they're trying to take it to an artsy level, which I don't feel like vibe.
Did you see the second one?
Yeah, I did. It was better.
Yeah.
But still.
They're just really fast.
Because technically they're not zombies.
It's a virus.
It's like a virus.
Rage virus. Yeah. And you turn like in 2 seconds, remember? 7 seconds?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I mean, it is scary when it's really fast. I get that.
But they're not zombies. They're
not really eating you either. They're just attacking you, right? They don't eat you.
They just kill you. They just tear you apart or whatever.
Bite you, and then you... Because you have to be able to get up again. Oh, nice. You didn't see World War Z yet, right?
No, I have not.
You gotta see it. In fact, we should see it.
You say it's good.
I'm saying that it's worth watching. Definitely worth watching. Especially the unrated version.
Okay.
Since we're on Zombie Kick, you should watch it like now. I watch a scene of it. But whatever. That movie's good. It has good scenes. That's the biggest budget zombie movie you'll ever see. It was $200 million.
Good God. Good God.
And you watch it, you're like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, they spent money on it. Like the whole Israel scene, when they climb that wall. Because they're just falling, and the bodies are just falling.
Yeah, but they also it cost that much because they also had to reshoot half of it.
And it's a Brad Pitt movie.
Well, he's the one that demanded the whole ending be reshot.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing like the book, from what I understand. I never read the book, but the book is written like in diary form.
Okay.
And the book is like World War Z. It's like around the world.
Right.
This movie doesn't really. It follows Brad Pitt. He's the main character. It's not like Traffic or something. You know, like I think the book was supposed to be like multiple stories going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I understand of World War Z. Even though I liked it, the unrated one is even better. It has really good scenes. But yeah, the zombie now stuff, the zombie era is kind of like.
It's kind of burnt out.
Yeah, I you know what I feel like sometimes. Tell me if you feel like that way. You feel like someone who likes like a really obscure band. And then they go mainstream, and everyone likes them, and they're on the bandwagon. And
yes,
like,
exactly.
I like zombie movies when they were real zombie movies.
Exactly.
Everything's zombie now. Even fucking video games, apps, commercials.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, it's zombies done wrong.
It's gonna die out again.
And it's been like done wrong so long that you're already like, I don't even want to see them.
Even the Romero movies, even the ones he did now, are kind of like, who cares? And that's like sad.
Diary of the Dead.
Yeah. Oh, that's really bad though.
It's just cashing in.
The acting is really bad. Have you seen it?
I never see that shit.
It's really bad.
See, David's a real connoisseur. He will actually put himself through that crap.
I saw Diary. I didn't see the other two he did. Survival.
Survival of the Dead? The hell's that?
That's the one in that little island with the Lade, the Irish family. I saw the first 10 minutes and it looked so bad. Diary was one of the first person ones.
Wow, no, I have not seen any of that.
And it has some cool ideas, but it's bad.
Okay.
So I guess we're talking about the zombie franchise and zombie remakes, so
I'm all for zombies, man. You and me have been champions of zombie movies for a long time. I feel like they need to go into hibernation for a while.
Yeah.
And not be brought back up until at least 6-7 years from now. Let people forget about them.
Because now you have to come up with a clever idea like that Nazi zombie movie, Dead Snow.
Oh yeah, they're like part 2 or 3 already.
Yeah, I saw the first one. It was okay. In fact, on Netflix, there's old horror movies. There's an old movie, like an 80s movie, had to do with Nazi zombies. So that's not the first one to do it.
No. Yes.
It's an 80s movie.
There's 2 of them.
I have it on my list.
There's one.
They come out of a lake or something.
Yeah. They have one of the baddest fucking covers.
Yeah.
Damn,
dude. Say something?
Well, I just think that zombies are overplayed.
Yeah, exactly.
When you go to a casino and they have a zombie slot machine.
Zombies are so mainstream right now. That's what we're talking about. Because back then, when we used to love the zombie movies, there was no zombie movies.
It's like terrible.
Now they're everywhere.
Because you go like anywhere and they have zombies, and even my 65-year-old parents are like asking us to download Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Because it's
and the TV show, You know it's a good show. It's super mainstream. Yeah, it's like vampires. Vampires now, everything is vampires. People forget about the old school vampires.
Vampires kind of have died out. I think when that whole Twilight saga
because they were
ended,
stupid vampires.
Yeah, and it's kind of died out. They still have like the Vampire Diaries stuff. But
yeah, vampires used to be scary.
Yeah.
Now the vampires are like sexy and seductive, and they twinkle.
But they kind of died out, so I think that eventually they'll make a remake, like a revamp.
They just need to stop making them for a while.
Yeah, it needs a pause.
Yeah, the 80s ones you're talking about, Shockwave was one of them. I remember the cover. Damn, where is it?
Yeah, I remember that one, but I think it's this one, the lake one. There's some Nazi movie in a lake thing that's on Netflix. Look how scary that looks. And then there was those zombie comedies in the 80s. Remember Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead 2?
Yeah.
They were kind of making fun of him already.
Yep.
That was kind of like the Scream version of
this is the cover I always used to remember. This one, Shockwaves.
Yeah.
And there's one that's like a hand coming out of a lake or something. I just don't remember the name of that one. But anyways.
Wait. That might be it. It's on Netflix. So do you want to say anything else in closing?
Here it is. That's the one I'm talking about. Zombie Lake.
Yeah, Zombie Lake. That's it. Yes, that's on Netflix. Look how cool that looks.
Yeah,
the movie's probably crappy, but the
I remember when I was a kid, I used to be petrified of this fucking VHS cover on the shelf. It's a zombie coming out of a lake, holding down a woman by the face, like his hands on her face, but it's just creepy looking. He has the helmet on and shit.
And it's drawn. They don't do that anymore. Everything's Photoshop now.
No, yeah. But pretty much the zombie genre. It has, it's grassroots with Romero and stuff in Pittsburgh. Has a great origins where it hit its peak, and I feel like in our time now, like in the 90s and 2000s, it's just crashed and burnt out. They don't know what the hell else to do with zombies anymore. It needs to go away for a while. Let it slumber for at least 6-7 years. Let some new hot shit.
At least, yeah.
Some new hot shit director in like 7 years come out of it and hopefully say, you know what, I'm going to do a zombie movie. Nobody's done it in a while. Without CGI, we're going to do some puppet work / makeup, old school shit and bring it back to where it needs to be.
When a spoof, when a comedy like Shaun of the Dead
does it
is better than most quote unquote serious zombie movies, that means you're ready. That movie was awesome, Shaun of the Dead. Even though it's been 10 years already.
Yes.
But that was definitely a nod to Romero because they were slow zombies. They had all the little Romero inside jokes.
Oh, absolutely.
They even had the music. In fact, Romero was so impressed with Shaun of the Dead that they're in Land of the Dead. Did you know that?
Yeah.
There's that montage scene when they're in that casino where the midget works, where they have all the zombies.
Yeah.
They're two of the zombies that you could take photographs with.
That's them.
It's Simon Pegg and the chubby guy,
Nick
Frost.
I want to say
them. They're in it because the Romero was so into it.
That's awesome. That's really fucking cool.
So yeah, I agree. It's time to get the zombie franchise. We love them, but it's time for it to gotta stop.
It's time to put an end to them for a while.
Zombie babies. What's next? Zombies in space.
Yeah, exactly. And this is all related to Hollywood pretty much running out of ideas. We need to pretty much put them to sleep for a while. Let zombie go into hibernation and we'll bring them back eventually. Hopefully, done right. And that's about it for this retro review. Dawn of the Dead, George Romero, old school, real deal.
Yeah, we'll be back. Maybe another zombie movie. Maybe something else.
Maybe something else.
See you later.
Bye.